Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sailing South, the First Timer's Guide to the ICW. My name is Wally Moran. Like yourself, I'm a cruising sailor. I'm a Canadian. I write for Sail Magazine and also for Waterway Guide. Just what is the ICW? For our purpose of the ICW is that section of it which starts at mile 0 in Norfolk, Virginia and continues on down the east coast to Miami, Florida at mile 1095. Your entrance to the ICW, as you can see from the photograph, can be a little bit intimidating. Coming down the ICW, the first decision you're going to have to make is, are you going to go through to Coinjock, where you'll find 2 marinas. There is no anchorage until several miles past. When you come to the Albemarle Sound, if the wind is against you, consider waiting a day or two, because the wind against you can kick up a nasty, vicious chop that will slow your boat to 2, 2.5, 3 knots. A lot of people will tell you that you can't sail on the ICW. And for large segments of it, that tends to be true because it's too narrow or there's simply no wind in that particular area. But clearly you can sail on Chesapeake Bay. You can sail on Albemarle Sound, obviously, and that can be a really good sail. Your goal leaving Belhaven will, for most sailboaters and trawlers, will be Oriental. Most sailors will find themselves ending up in some kind of an impromptu race on the News River, because Oriental is definitely the sailing capital of North Carolina. One of the most important pieces of equipment that you'll find a use for on the ICW is going to be your handheld VHF. Dinghies, all kinds of opinions on dinghies. The one thing you don't want is a dinghy that is in poor condition, that's leaking air or that's leaking water. Some of the things you do not need in the ICW, you may need them later, but you don't need them in the ICW. You don't need an EPIRB. One thing, and I wish I was getting a commission on this, don't forget to purchase a towing package from either Sea Tow or Towboat US. The charts that you need are all contained in the Intracoastal Waterway chart book, which is a strip chart book. It's worth, I think, $65 or $70. One of the things that naturally you need to know while you're cruising down the ICW is the weather situation. Weather, as a general rule, is not a major factor on the ICW regarding communications or staying in touch with the rest of the world. Assuming you're not escaping from somebody, your primary means of communication will be your VHF radio. One of the issues that we as sailors and powerboaters have in the ICW in the narrow confines is about passing and being passed. Now, I hate to have to tell you this, sailors, but we're a big part of the problem. This is what you don't want to have happening. They'll knock you flying, but you've got to slow down enough so that they can get past you. Now, powerboaters, as much as we sailors are at fault, we're looking to you when we slow down for you to slow down and pass us by getting fully off the wake. I'd like to introduce you to some of the signage that you're going to meet along the ICW and explain what is important about each one, along with the help of my highly trained assistant, who you see here standing on top of the sign. In Sailing South, a lot of us are going to anchor out 100% of the time. Some of the rest of us are going to tie up at a dock 100% of the time. It's nice to know that there actually are some free docks available on your trip south. For up-to-date information on shoaling, go online and check with waterwayguide.com, which has already been mentioned, or cruisersnet.net. Very often I'm asked about sailing outside along the coast rather than staying inside on the ICW. Unless you're prepared to commit to a sail of 24 hours or more, going outside is generally not a time saver. Ladies and gentlemen, here are some ICW images for you. Some cruisers just taking it easy on the deck. The welcome dock at Indian River Fruit Company. An old gentleman conking in the Bahamas. Fernandina Beach, Florida, a really interesting and attractive city. A mallard duck that decided to come visiting on the boat. Some condos along the ICW, very pretty actually along here. 17 friends on board the boat, New Year's Eve, Beaufort, South Carolina. Oriental, North Carolina here. A happy face in North Carolina. A big ship coming out of one of the locks in the Welland Canal. Cruising on the Alligator Pungo. The Pride of Baltimore. Wolf Trap on Chesapeake Bay. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us for this presentation of Sailing South, the First Timer's Guide to the ICW. I hope you've enjoyed it. Fair winds and following seas.